Welcome, everyone, to the Forensic Fails first ever bonus Patreon episode. Brian and I have decided that our Patreon bonus episodes will include crime-adjacent films, TV shows, things like that. And
documentaries as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Anything in the crime-adjacent world, not
Yes.
necessarily true crime the way we follow it on other podcasts or the way we follow it on our own podcast, Forensic Fails.
Exactly.
So we discussed what we would do for our first bonus episode, and it was clear to both of us that we needed attention paid to the documentary directed by Julian Nitzberg in 2009, The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah, and there is so much packed into that title.
Yeah.
I mean, just to say, like, wild and wonderful is sort of the West Virginia state, like, slogan, I guess you would call it. Like, when you drive into West Virginia, you see the signs, like, wild and wonderful. And then the whites refer to not, like, white people. They are white people, but is also the last name of the family that we will be following.
Yes.
And this is also actually made by Johnny Knoxville and the folks involved with Jackass.
And that's saying a lot.
That is saying something. We don't hear or see Johnny, but
right.
You can definitely sort of feel their presence. Yeah.
So, are you ready, Brian?
This honestly, like, this is the one documentary that I tell everyone about, and I always try to get people to watch it, and I try to explain it, and I do a really poor job of explaining it. But if you haven't seen it, if you've seen it, hopefully you'll enjoy our recap and commentary. If you haven't seen it, hopefully this will encourage you to go and see it.
Yes. So I discovered this documentary during COVID.
Okay.
At the beginning of COVID, after watching Tiger King.
Okay.
Yes. My husband and I watched Tiger King at the very beginning of the lockdown in 2020. And this actually came up because originally it was on Netflix, I believe, as something you may enjoy.
Yeah. They're usually correct, too.
Yes. Yeah. So, dear listeners, you are in for a real treat today because we are cruising through Boone County, West Virginia, and all I could say is thank God for subtitles.
Yeah, and just to say, like, if you don't usually watch your stuff closed captioned, please find that closed caption button in whatever platform you're using or through your TV. Like, it is mandatory. There are some parts of the documentary where they put on subtitles, but not nearly enough. This documentary benefits greatly from closed captioning and on-screen text.
Yes. Do yourself the favor.
Yes.
So our film begins with one Patricia Smith, who, we are informed, is a Boone County evangelist. When asked by the film crew about the reputation of the white family, she pauses and then lets us know she'd rather not comment. So, why even bother showing up, Pat?
Yeah, and also Pat pauses for so long on that question, sort of shuts her eyes and says, I'd rather not comment, which honestly I think says a lot.
That like, just really, it sets the tone.
It sets the tone, and I feel like, I just to unpack that, I feel like, why does she not want to comment? Is it because, like, she doesn't even know where to begin? Is it because being an evangelist, she would have to say things that are not very Christian? Is it because she's literally afraid of these people attacking her for what she wants to say? Like, I have questions already.
All valid questions.
Yes.
All valid questions. So after Patricia, we meet the sheriff, some defense attorneys, some other important townsfolk. Wikipedia actually describes them as the Greek chorus of the movie, which is actually a fantastic
Yes.
description.
Yes.
They introduce us to the family that we are about to spend the next hour and a half with, and God bless all of us for sitting through this.
Oh.
They are described as a group who do not like to conform to rules, like to fuss, fight, and party, and are, quote, entertaining, and the, quote, true rebels of the South, according to Hank Williams III, who also does the music for the movie.
Yeah, and I have to pause here on Hank Williams III because actually, like, he's comes from a very legendary musical family. Both his father as well as his grandfather, big country stars and names. And I honestly wasn't, I was vaguely familiar with Hank III, but he was also very active in the music scene, kind of big in he was like almost like his style was more of a mashup of like sort of like country and like punk almost. He's an interesting fella.
He's a character.
He's a character. But he actually kind of is friendly with this family.
Yes. Yeah, he is. And he seems to truly like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our first on-screen family member is Mamie.
Oh, Mamie. She's the one I would consider to be the kind of main protagonist almost of this story.
Yeah. I kind of see her as the storyteller.
She is the storyteller. Yeah.
So we meet Mamie. Her hair is in a ponytail, which is then split into a bunch of skinny braids. It's a look, but she's wearing a scrunchie, so I'm going to give her that. Mamie is the oldest daughter of D. Ray White, who was a mountain tap dancer who became famous for his dancing, and we do get footage of him dancing barefoot on a piece of plywood.
Which looks painful to me.
It does. I'm wondering what the bottom of his feet must have been like. They must have been like horse hooves.
It wasn't even a straight piece of plywood.
No.
It was like they probably kept it like standing vertical and sort of like bent over time.
Warped by the rain.
Yeah.
Splinters galore.
Yeah, and then I didn't know mountain tap dancing was a thing.
No.
But I did some Googling. Apparently it is kind of a thing. It was a big Appalachia sort of thing, and took its drew from like tap dancing culture and from like Native American dancing and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. It's very intricate too.
It's a thing. Yeah. He did 52 steps that no one else knew.
He made up in his own heart and mind.
Of his own heart and mind.
That's right. Mamie also lets us know she's the biggest, the meanest, and the baddest of all the whites.
She is proud of it.
She is. I didn't know I needed to know all that information about her. But now that I do, I feel much better. Mamie's thumb is also bandaged up throughout the course of the movie.
I never noticed the thumb.
Yeah. No information as to why. It could be because she's the biggest and the meanest and the baddest. However, something tells me it probably involves a broken bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yes. And I just have to say, so Mamie is the first woman that we meet on the show. All of the women have the same voice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So it is the sound of cigarettes and hard living.
Oh yeah.
It is gravelly, harsh.
Yes, it's like a nitroglycerin truck drove through like a salt mine.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would describe their voices as sexy.
Yeah, somebody will.
One might. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll
get to her.
So anyway, Mamie appears to be incredibly proud of her dad and his legacy. P.S. Her dad is dead. He was shot during a shootout. Her brother Mark also shot and killed. So was her brother Dorsey. And she states it all very matter-of-factly, kind of like, hey, I had a great milkshake today and Dorsey was shot and killed.
Yeah, specifically said, and that was the end of Dorsey.
That was the end of Dorsey. P.S. These were all 3 separate incidents. This was not like they were all together and happened to die. 3 separate men in her family all died of gunshots, all at different times in their lives. It's a lot. And I know I'm probably going to say that a million times during this episode. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Her brother Pony, still alive, by the way, decided that Boone County might have been a little bit too much. So he packed up his family while he happened to be under investigation for prescription fraud, and he moved to Minnesota. But no worries, because according to Mamie, he's doing fine.
Yeah, and she specifically said he hauled Heine to Minnesota. Okay, we're gonna hear the most vile stuff throughout the show. Okay, we are going to hear F-bombs and other words drop throughout. But here she decided she'd want to use the word haul ass because Mamie's too much of a lady.
Right.
So she's going to say haul Heine.
Okay. So, yeah, Pony's doing fine. Glad to hear that, Pony. So Jesco, his real name, in case you were wondering, wound up with his dad's shoes. And I don't know if she meant his literal shoes or his talent, but whatever. He is the new mountain tap dancer in Boone County, and he is quite the celebrity. In fact, he had his own documentary made about him called The Dancing Outlaw, and it is unavailable for streaming at this time. I did check because I wanted to watch it. And he's quite the character. We are treated to a clip from Jesco's film, and a younger Jesco is explaining, rather proudly, I might add, how he held a butcher knife to the neck of his wife, his girlfriend, his dirty stay out guest of the evening. I don't know, but he was complaining about the status of his eggs.
Yes.
Apparently, Jesco doesn't much care for sloppy, slimy eggs. But I mean, does anyone? So just don't mess with a man's breakfast, darling. Also, he has been the subject of some songs performed by Hank Williams III, Big and Rich, and some other country stars. Have I heard them? No. Do I care to hear them? Also, no.
So, okay, a few comments on this section. So actually, I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but, the father, was going to be going to Canada or had gone to Canada to film his documentary, Talkin' Feet. Mm-hmm. So there's Talkin' Feet, okay? Mm-hmm. Now Dancing Outlaw, and now Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. This family now has 3 documentaries that they are the subjects of, which honestly, blows my freaking mind.
Yes.
And then second of all, I mean, these people are so messed up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that knife was to his mother for making him bad eggs. Okay. So I will say that Big and Rich actually were really big. So, and I didn't aware that he was the subject of. There was actually there was Hank the Third, Big and Rich, and then a third group, which I don't remember the name of. They were not so big, but she referred to Mammy said, then these motherfuckers started including Jesco in their songs. So I couldn't tell. I'm like, are you angry that they was I thought Hank the Third was your BFF?
Maybe motherfuckers is a term of endearment.
Term of endearment? Yes, but you couldn't say ass. You had to say Heine. Also.
A sidebar about Big and Rich. I have heard of them. I know the song Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Yes. But here's a fun fact. So last year, a year and a half ago, I can't remember, a friend of mine was engaged to be married, and her fiance, his work, they live out in Montana, his business holiday party, Big and Rich were the performers.
Oh.
And married them on stage at the holiday party. Yes. So my friend Holly, her wedding to her husband was performed by Big and Rich.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Was Jesco at the reception?
I don't know. I should ask her if he was dancing. So also, it's important to note that this movie was filmed over the course of a year or possibly longer, as is evident by Jesco's beard, his clean-shaven face, and babies being born, but more on that later.
Mm-hmm.
So Mamie tells us she helped raise all the brothers and sisters and kids in the family, which could not have been easy. The Whites literally look like the photo definition of ridden hard and put away wet.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking away from the hardship that seems to be their lives. It could not have been an easy life growing up. There was lots of poverty, lots of addiction issues, lots of crime, lots of prison, and a lot of bad tattoos. Also, they all seem to have the same eyes, at least the women in the family, and Jesco. Mamie, her sisters, they all seem to have like the same eye shape, squintiness, pretty strong genes in that family.
Yeah, and the genes are from I saw this too. They are definitely from the matriarch of the family, who we're going to meet in a few minutes, because they show some, and again, I've seen this film now a few times, but they show some of those old photos, right? And when you see pictures of the matriarch, you think it's it could have been one of the daughters, it could have been one of the granddaughters. Like, I just like her, they all have the same face even.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And the same face, same voice, same eyes, to your point. And you really notice the eyes with Jesco in that footage from the documentary that they show when you talk about the slimy eggs. Yeah.
Yes. And so the filmmakers were kind enough to give us a family tree of the White family. It is not easy to read, but they do kind of zoom in on each picture on the family tree as we meet the characters. So it's a little effective. Everybody has a different nickname that has nothing to do with their real name. And I feel like the meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he has that whiteboard and is seemingly losing his mind trying to keep track of things. That's how I feel with that.
Yeah, and they bounce around a lot. And again, to your point about nicknames, everyone has a nickname. And again, you know what? You don't have to subscribe to historical gender norms, but it's very interesting that almost all of the women have basically male names as their nicknames, and nobody finds it funny or ironic or anything like that. Especially coming from a family that I imagine if anyone else had names that were not gender normative, they would have a problem with it and make fun of it.
Oh yeah.
They'd probably make fun of people tap dancing too.
Exactly.
But like their family, it's cool.
It's fine.
It's cool.
So, Mamie, Jesco, now we meet Birdie Mae. Birdie Mae is the aforementioned matriarch of the White family. We meet her in her apartment. There is a lot of dogs and dolls and clutter. I would go insane living there. But it is clear that her family adores her.
Yes.
She is nicknamed the Miracle Woman due to her big heart with fostering children in the area. Mamie claims that over the years, Birdie Mae took in over 30 children. And I say this with zero snark, but that is an incredibly generous thing to do. Because this is a family that has seemingly very little in terms of wealth. And to do that in spite of their financial situation, I find incredible. So big kudos to the Miracle Woman. I would also like to note that at times like this, when we are meeting Birdie Mae, the filmmakers include their own subtitles. So kudos to them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Kudos on her taking in all of those kids. I mean, I was kind of curious because I wasn't sure. Like, all right, did you like legally foster these kids? I mean, it just seemed like people just didn't want to care for their kids anymore and just drop them off to Birdie Mae's house.
Yeah, like she looked out the window. There's like 4 more kids in the yard.
It's like, oh, all right, here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, I will say that I really am curious, like where things, and it was as after seeing Birdie Mae that I really was wondering, like where things went wrong in this family. Because Birdie Mae doesn't, in general, we're going to learn one thing about her that raised some questions, but in general, it doesn't seem to be like a lot of her family. So I don't know if it was the loss of the father where things started falling apart or all of the trauma that people started relying upon drugs. But I was really curious of kind of how the family went so wayward. And they all went wayward.
They did. Except Pony. He's doing fine.
He's doing fine.
He's doing fine.
Hauled ass to Minnesota.
So next up is Susan Ray White, also known as Kirk, because why not?
Why not?
I also find it funny that when they introduce themselves, one of the first things they say is their relationship to Jesco.
Over and over again.
Like,
yes.
that's the first connection they make. Not who your mother or your father is. I'm Jesco's niece. I'm Jesco's sister.
Yeah.
Okay. You're more than that, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was almost wondering whether I noticed that too. And part of me was wondering whether when the filmmakers originally were putting this together, if they were actually expecting Jesco to be a stronger kind of protagonist and narrator and kind of driving force in this film than actually was. I mean, Jesco gets a fair amount of mention, but I almost feel like Mamie is the bigger character here.
She's like the breakout star, but she's also the biggest, the baddest, and the meanest.
Right, but she kind of drives the plot forward more. So I almost feel like she's the connective thread. So I almost feel like saying your connection to Mamie almost makes a little bit more sense. But maybe it's because Jesco is the celebrity of the family.
I'm wondering if that's it. Like, Jesco at that point was the celebrity.
Yeah.
So that's why they're all like, Jesco's my uncle. Jesco's my, I'm Jesco's niece. I'm Jesco's granddaughter. I'm Jesco's, chihuahua. So Kirk. Okay. So I follow Kirk on Facebook, and currently I'm not sure if she is in jail or rehab, but she's pretty active on the socials, and she's willing to give shout outs, and she lets you know her Cash App name. When we meet her, though, she is a little slurry with her speech, which, considering her life, checks out. Her son Tyler, who I also follow on socials.
Oh, I haven't found Tyler.
Oh.
On Facebook or Instagram?
He's on Facebook.
Okay.
But he's not active at the moment. He's in another place. Oh. So Tyler is also with her. At this point, Tyler's probably 5 or 6 years old, I would say. Maybe a little older, but in that range. He's still in primary school if he goes. And this kid, I swear to God, he must be mainlining sugar 3 meals a day. Yeah. He is more active than all of my students combined on the last day of school. And she tells us her mom is Jesco's sister, Bo, not her real name. And her dad is Terry. And the reason he's in jail is for double murder. And now, I love getting to know my characters. This seems like maybe a 3rd or 4th date kind of conversation. But we also get pictures of Terry's handiwork. And in case you were wondering, Brian, Kirk, she's not a snitch.
No.
They tried to charge her with accessory, but she told them just throw her ass in jail.
Well, no. Excuse you. They tried to charge her with accessory.
Yes. But she's not a snitch. So you got to love family bonds like that. Also, Kirk loves to fight.
Loves it.
Just so you know. And Tyler is a little bent out of shape that she never wants to fight him. This kid must be a friggin' dream in school.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And Tyler spelled Tylor.
Tylor,
like
yes.
None of the names are normal in this episode.
No. So our next family member comes to us via trampoline. And I feel like there aren't enough trampolines in documentaries.
This is true. But yeah, she makes her introduction on a trampoline.
Yes. Sue Bob, also not her real name. It's Sue Ann. And she's the youngest of the white children, or the baby girl, as she tells us. And she lets us know she's always been the sexiest one in the family. And look, that's not her opinion. Thousands of people have told her that. And she worked as thousands. She's worked as a stripper, no judgment, and brought home buku dollars in her boot, sometimes up to $2,000 a night.
Yes. And starting at age 17.
Yes.
Starting at age 17. 17.
Where you should be in high school.
Minor. She's stripping.
Yes.
Thousands of people. Like, how does that conversation happen? Like, Bob.
Is she like walking through Disney
Suba.
World and people are coming up to her going, "Oh my God, you're so sexy"?
No, but like, and you are so much sexier than
everybody else.
That bunch of animals around you.
Yes.
You know, you are the sexiest one in her family. Meanwhile, God forgive me, but like, okay, this is terrible. She's got Shrek ears. She does.
Oh my God.
Did you notice this?
Oh, I did notice they stuck out.
Okay.
Very much.
Okay.
I was going to say Spock, but yes.
Okay. Like, yeah, I'm just going to say that. Like, cause you made a point of telling us how sexy you are. I personally, I don't find any person in this documentary sexy.
No.
In the least. I feel like Kirk has the most potential of being attractive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I will say that.
Yeah. And that's being generous.
Yes.
But anyway, her voice sounds a bit rough. Like we said, it's kind of like a family trait, much like the eyes. And she has 2 children, Ashley and Brandon. Brandon, at the time of filming, is currently in jail awaiting sentencing for shooting Mamie's boyfriend.
Yes, the biggest and the baddest.
The biggest and the baddest. Her boyfriend was shot by her nephew.
Yes.
Seriously.
It's good family.
Yeah. So next up, Bo White, real name Bernadine, but she goes by Bo or Bo Cephas.
Bo Cephas.
I didn't even know that was a name, but apparently.
Oh my goodness.
So Bo Cephas starts off by telling us she used to be wilder than a buck, and then proceeds to run down the list of controlled substances she's used and liked in her lifetime. At which point I was wondering if Nancy Reagan's Just Say No campaign made it to Boone County, but I'm guessing no.
Yeah. And also, too, like she also has, maybe she did this during her wilder than a buck phase, where she got a star tattoo.
Is that what it is?
It's a star tattoo near her eye, but it's close to where you would put like a prison teardrop tattoo.
I wasn't quite sure what it was a tattoo of because and I know I sound like a complete snob, but I'm guessing skincare is not high on the list of priorities. But there's a lot of sun damage. There's working there.
Yeah, I don't think much SPF or hyaluronic acid makes its way to the white women.
Ladies, you only get one skin in your life. Take care of it. This is a PSA.
Love the skin you're in, ladies.
That's right. So, in case you're wondering about Bo Cephas, her drug of choice is marijuana, and she's, quote, a pothead. I'm guessing, though, that referred to tattoo. I'm wondering if her son did it because he has his own tattoo equipment, and more on that later.
Oh,
her son,
yes.
Yeah, her son, Derek, everyone seems to call him Durkee, which is something that maybe should have been left a family secret.
Or dirty old white boy. He also likes that one.
Yeah, dirty old white boy.
Yeah.
He's very proud of that one. He also seems to enjoy himself some weed, but he favors, quote, Roxy, Lorcets, Norcos, Percocets, Vicodins, Xanax. He loves the Xanny bar.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, did you know that the Boone County mating call is the shaking of pills in a bottle? Yeah. I didn't know that either. Live and learn, as I like to say. But Bo Cephas, tells us that deep down, they're just all good old people.
But he's literally, this is a mother and son talking about this on the couch like it's normal. Like,
right.
Can you imagine sitting next to your mother on a sofa discussing anything even remotely close to this? It is just
closest I have ever come to an uncomfortable conversation with my mother went like this. We were, I don't even know where, but the Today Show was on. We were visiting my grandmother in the nursing home.
Okay.
Right? The Today Show was on the TV, and they were discussing the newly released phenomenon, 50 Shades of Grey, the book.
Okay.
My mother turns to me and says, "Have you read that book?"
Oh, boy.
And I said, "We are never having this conversation."
You refuse to even go there.
No, I am not entertaining this conversation with you, Kathleen. this book is not for you. End. And she looked at me. I said, no more.
Not that.
We're not doing this. That is the closest I have ever come to a conversation that would make me uncomfortable with my mother, because it just did not happen.
Yeah. The other thing that struck me too is that we had Bo Derek with us. It was Bo and Derek. It was Bo Derek. And I was wondering if that was intentional or not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But with Mamie's braids, it makes sense.
I mean, they're all 10s, so it makes sense,
Except for Sue Bob. She's like a 20. So, by the way, we're only 10 minutes in
to
the movie at this point.
This is good. This might be a 3-hour episode. So you're getting a lot for your money. You're going to get a lot for your money on this Patreon.
Hey, Brian, did you know the average person spends approximately 26 years of their life sleeping?
I had no idea.
Neither did I. I love sleeping. And as I started getting older, I realized my bedding had a lot to do with how well I slept. Several years ago, my husband read about Cozy Earth sheets, bought a set, and I was instantly hooked. These sheets have saved me from insomnia and hot flashes. They're made from 100% viscose bamboo. They have the silky feel to them and are always cool. They also have a jersey and a soft cotton line of their sheets too. You could try them for 100 nights, and if you decide you don't like them, send them back for a refund. You spend 26 years of your life in bed. Don't you want them to be the absolute best years?
I do, but sounds awful expensive.
Now, when you use our promo code FORENSIC to get 21% off your purchase. So give yourself 100 nights of comfort and then shoot us an email to thank us for introducing you to this company.
That's cozyearth.com/discount/forensic.
So 10 minutes in, the opening credits begin, and to the dulcet tones of Hank III singing at a picnic table, we have entertainment by Jesco as he dances on top of the table. Not the same kind of dancing that Sue Bob does, but his mountain tap dancing. And look, he's not bad.
No, not at all.
There's some skills there. There definitely is.
Definitely. And he's babyface at this point.
Yes. Okay. So the police and attorneys of Boone County are back. They are explaining how with the whites, you never know what's going to happen. It could be robbery, it could be larceny, could be prescription fraud, embezzlement, forgery, drug cases, fights, custody, shooting, and obviously a murder or two. Sheriff Randall White, I am assuming no relation, tells us that he has dealt with the White family more than any other family in Boone County. The police and the attorneys of Boone County are back, expecting how, with the whites, you never know what's going to happen. Robbery, larceny, prescription fraud, embezzlement, forgery, drug cases, fights, custody, shooting, and obviously a murder or two. Sheriff Randall White, no relation, I'm guessing, tells us that he has dealt with the White family more than any other family in Boone County. The prosecuting and defense attorneys of the county claim that the family is clever and crime is just a part of their lives. Probably the same way brushing my teeth is just part of mine.
Yeah, and it makes points to say, like, they're clever. They're clever. They're not educated, but they are clever.
Yes.
And we're actually going to see a variety of these crimes unfold before us.
Yes. So Mamie, in case you're wondering, she's got 3 mine shafts up in this here holler. And if you wanted to know, they're great for hiding bodies in garbage bags.
I mean, listen, she's not just the biggest and the baddest and the meanest for no reason.
Exactly.
All right? Like, she's got mine shafts and she's not afraid to use them.
Yeah. And then Bo tells us a story about hitting an old man in a wheelchair with a pipe.
Wait, but not just that, he had one leg, didn't he? Wasn't he an amputee? I think he said he had one leg, and he was like turned on about the blood. Like,
no, that was Durkee. Durkee hit something.
Oh,
somebody more
okay.
than once, just to see the blood fly because it, quote, was a turn on.
Okay. I was taking this as like I thought it was the same incident, and this was a mother and son.
It could have been
hit the amputee with a pipe. I mean,
who knows
at
with this
family?
Point?
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine what Thanksgiving is like with this group.
Oh my God.
And in case you were curious, no, none of them work aside from Sue Bob and her dancing boots.
But I wonder if she still is active as a dancer. I mean, if she made the buku bucks, right?
Well,
I mean,
why give it up?
And she's so sexy.
She is so sexy.
You know.
So are you curious as to how they have any money?
I'm dying to know.
Well, they sell pills and they get Social Security, or as Mammy calls it, her crazy check.
I missed that. She calls it her crazy check?
Yes. So apparently years ago, D. Ray learned how to fuck the system and set his entire family up on disability.
And they are admitting to defrauding the government on film.
Mamie actually looks at the camera at one point in the film and says she gets a check every month from the goddamn state of West Virginia because she's fucking crazy.
I mean, I guess I can't.
You can't argue
with that.
Yeah.
But I think they all could probably work if they put down the Xanny bars for just a second.
Yeah. So after that little brief history of some crimes in the family, Jesco takes us on a stroll through town. And he's pointing out the places that he's raised hell and robbed over the years. And as a tour guide, he's quite charming.
It includes a church.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our next scene, it is Birdie Mae's birthday. And the family has gathered at her home to celebrate. And there's a huge doll that scares the ever-loving shit out of me. There are kids crying, there's pot being smoked, and there is some naked dude that kind of wanders in and then gets thrown into a table by Mamie. Poor Birdie Mae.
Okay.
I bet
I have several comments to
I
make
bet.
On this birthday party. Okay. From the top, that doll, I was curious, like, was that a doll that she just had around the house that they decided should be in the picture? Was that a gift?
I think it might have been a gift because it looks like she collects dolls.
It was huge and ugly. Yeah, just to say, this apartment looked like an episode of Hoarders. Like, yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. But yeah, there's tons of pot being used, stuff being smoked. I don't even think it was pot. I think it was other stuff being snorted. They're doing it all around her, and this is also all family that's coming by. Okay, and they are blowing it into each other's mouths in a bizarrely intimate way that first of all, I don't use drugs. I'm not trying to disparage anyone who has substance issues or anything like that. If I did smoke any substances, I cannot imagine blowing it in my cousin's mouth like that. I mean, they were nearly French kissing. Okay. Jesco and his, I think, niece.
Yeah.
But the part that really got me was that poor Mamie, she doesn't use any of that stuff. Birdie Mae. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Sorry. Let me not confuse those two. At point, she's on the couch covering her nose. Yeah. Complaining about the smell. It's clear she doesn't want any of that stuff around her. And they do it anyway, which I think is so fucking disrespectful. Okay.
Also, there's children.
There's children around. I mean, I'm hoping Child Protective Services was watching this as well. The whole thing was just really, really quite disgusting. And then Naked Man. Okay. So the on-screen text identified him as like an adopted son or something.
I'm wondering if he was one of like the foster children.
That's what I'm wondering too. But like, he didn't stroll out naked. He strolled out shirtless, but in his like flannel pajama bottoms.
Yeah.
And his sister, essentially, Mamie,
she pantses him.
Yeah. And this is normal. And then she shoves him into a table, and you see his nasty ass. It was wild.
I've never been to a birthday party like that, is all I'm saying.
And I never want to.
No. I just felt so bad for Birdie Mae, and all I could think of is she's probably like, couldn't we have just gone to McDonald's and had the birthday party there?
Oh, poor
also, Birdie lives above the Drop In and C. At that would be the letters N and C.
That's store. What that meant. Drop In and C.
Drop In and C, and they have a Facebook page.
Okay, because
I follow it.
Yeah, because like the letter N. ampersand C, and I couldn't figure out, like, what does drop N and C mean?
Yeah, it's like a consignment shop.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kirk is doing laundry. And by the way, I did see a Confederate flag in the window.
This is the first of many Confederate flags that we will see because, why not continuing to celebrate the losing side?
That. Okay. Yeah. And, I mean, everybody's got their feelings about that flag and what it stands for. And it stands for things for many people. But I just, me personally, I've never been one to use flags as decor.
Yeah.
Like that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
Especially that one. Anyway, Kirk's doing laundry and she lets Tyler know 6 cans of soda, but she calls it pop, is too much. I don't think I drink 6 cans of soda in a month, possibly even a year, but that's probably because I just stopped making tab. Also, when Tyler goes to open his soda, he cracks it open with his teeth and he is bouncing around the house like a force of nature. I don't know if he actually sleeps at night or if he just literally crashes.
Yeah. So like you hear the phrase bouncing off the walls. Like this kid literally was bouncing off of the walls like I've never seen before.
No, I've never seen a child act like that. He was like on his bed, kicking the walls, flopping on his back, bouncing back up. I was like, oh my God. Like this is the, I like I said, I don't know if he sleeps or if he just like collapses at the end of the day and that's where they find him in the morning. So, Kirk now tells us the story of Dennis, her ex. He was attractive to Kirk because he drove a truck. Sadly, though, their love did not last due to the fact that he screwed her cousin. I mean, it happens. Kirk was less than okay with this discovery, so she, quote, stabbed his ass. Valid. But no worries because Bertie Mae helped conceal the crime. Kirk hates Dennis, and so does Tyler, who, after saying he would slit Dennis's, quote, throat or nuts if he had a knife, tells the camera, Dennis is this, and then flips the bird.
Yeah.
He's a charmer, Tyler. Tyler also let it slip, though, that Dennis hit Kirk, so Dennis can fuck right off.
Yeah. I mean, so several comments on the section. So first of all, those Social Security or crazy checks must be pretty good because they're affording. There's no like great value soda.
Oh,
like,
no.
He's drinking the brand name Pepsi.
Yep.
Okay, which I thought was it, but maybe there's a sale to Piggly Wiggly. I don't know. The other thing too is that I'm watching this and I'm like, is she just admitting to attempted murder? Because she said, I meant to slit his throat. I meant to kill him. And at one point the producer's like, you don't have to, like, are you sure you want to say this on camera? And she basically says like, yes, I want Dennis to hear this.
Yeah.
Which is
and then
like,
she brings her grandmother into it.
Yeah. So I mean that's what I was alluded to before. Like Bertie Mae, miracle worker, like, okay. When I heard this, I'm like, ooh, I mean, so Miss Kirk, right? Who, no snitch, right?
Right.
Basically snitches on her grandmother.
Right. And makes her an accessory.
Outs her as an accessory by cleaning up the crime scene and disposing of the murder weapon.
I know.
I was blown away by, I heard that. And you're doing this all in front of your kid, Tyler.
Yeah.
And it just made me sad too, because Tyler, as well as all of the kids that we see, are seeing too much.
Oh, yeah.
And they are hearing too much.
Yep.
And it just does not set them up for a better life for themselves, which honestly made me very sad. And that's why I say when I talk about this documentary, it is both funny and very sad at the same time, because addiction also plays a big part of it. And really, West Virginia in particular was kind of the epicenter of the opioid crisis. And they exploited the fact that there was a lot of coal miners who had constant chronic pain.
Yeah.
And OxyContin was sort of a silver bullet. And then you combine that with the fact that the coal industry not doing well, mines closing down, it being a pretty depressed area with high rates of unemployment, and it was just a breeding ground for abuse. So they really also essentially made a documentary about the opioid crisis.
Right. In fact, I think a whole season of Intervention takes place in West Virginia, all about the opioid issue.
Is our favorite interventionist there?
No, so this was maybe season 23.
Oh, okay.
And it was it basically followed the same people throughout the season.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So 6 months later, after telling us about stabbing Dennis's ass, Kirk has given birth to Monica May White. Her cousin Tracy, with an I, is there to help with the bottle and to give Kirk her pills to crush and snort. Keeping it classy, ladies.
Yes, which they do on the dirty nightstands, directly on the nightstand, the hospital nightstands.
Yes.
And they use the hospital guest badge.
Yes, they do.
Did you notice that as well?
I did. In case you're wondering, it's Dennis's baby. Kirk got pregnant before she stabbed his ass, so, there was love at the time. And Kirk tells us that she wants the baby to stay away from the wrong people. I mean, really, this just writes itself.
AKA your family.
Your family. Also, Tracy is also snorting the pills, hopefully with a different straw, but I wouldn't bet on it because the family that snorts together stays together, right? Maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know anymore.
Absolutely. Okay, so I was really struck, though, by what she said because, you see this family who is all about, partying, rules aren't for us, yada, yada, yada. But there is a little bit of self-awareness that the way they live life is not the way that life should be lived, because I wrote down what she said. Kirk said, when my baby gets older, I'd like for her life to go in a totally different direction than what mine went. Finish school, do the right thing, stay away from the wrong people. Have her own dreams and work hard toward them. If you stay in Boone County, I don't care how many dreams you got, it's not going to happen. And again, the wrong people is unfortunately her family. Yeah. Which is why Pony Whole Tiny
went to Minnesota
and is doing just fine.
But
I did there was that moment of clarity and lucidity that I thought was just really very interesting and honestly made me very sad for her.
It did, because you wonder, what chance do any of those children have?
Yeah.
So Kirk leaves the hospital and we get a little, tracking view of the room she was in. And honestly, it looks like it was lived in for a month by a bunch of 20-year-olds who went to Burning Man. There are chip bags, pill dust, soda bottles, Marlboro cartons, cigarette cartons.
Yeah.
Lighters. And P.S. she's upset the hospital is not allowing the baby to leave.
Yeah, and they show her smoking in her hospital room. I mean, she's blowing it out the hospital window, but you're smoking in the hospital?
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore.
They didn't do that then either, but she did.
Yeah.
So, she's upset the hospital won't allow the baby to leave. Raise your hand if you're shocked that the baby can't leave. She tells us that she tries to stay out of trouble, but it keeps hitting her in the face worser and worser. I'm not even commenting on the grammar here because Kirk, my girl, you were snorting pills in the hospital room in your gown while your still pink newborn was there with you. Of course trouble finds you. You're inhaling your trouble up your nose. Anyway, Bo is there, her mom, to drive her daughter home, carrying some random kid. They all seem to be surrounded by random kids. But it turns out it's Durkee's baby, Derek Jr. So Durkee Jr., I don't know. He's in the front seat. There's no car seat. I fucking can't.
We don't know who the baby mama is.
No.
Do we?
I don't think they care.
I have no, I mean, I guess good on you that you're taking care of your kid.
Right. But I think it's if it's a white baby, belonging to the white bloodline, they claim them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who your partner is. It's our baby now.
Yeah, you're in the White Dynasty.
Yes.
So we're not letting you go.
You know, they get back home and they're driving, and Bo is explaining to us that when she was 17 when she had Kirk, and her parents named the baby and had adoption papers before Bo even came out of the anesthesia after delivering her. So I don't know if D-Ray and Birdie Mae raised Kirk or if Bo raised Kirk, but it's quite the soap opera.
Like sands through the hourglass.
Seriously. So Bo and her family, including Tracy with an I, not sure where she actually falls into the family, but she's there. They gather at Bo's house to celebrate.
Okay, cousin Tracy.
Yeah,
okay. I'm curious where cousin Tracy falls on the family tree.
They don't show her picture.
They don't. But like she's in it quite a bit.
Yes.
Where is she in the tree? What's her relation to Jesco? Okay. But further, you know what she reminded me of? Did you ever watch what is it, like 19 Kids and Counting, the Duggars at any point?
No.
Okay. There's cousin Amy on the show. Okay. Now, cousin Amy is, I think, on the father's side of the family, but in a way, she's sort of like, she's not fundy like the rest of them, but she's this cousin who just like shows up from like time to time. And it's almost like, why the hell are you here, Amy? This is like Tracy. I'm like, Tracy, why are you here? Like, I feel like she's just a random cousin who just wanted to sort of like be in on the action, but she really just adds no value. Like, whatsoever.
She likes to deliver bad news, as we'll find out.
Yeah, she's like the town crier.
Yes. So they're all at Bo's house celebrating and commiserating with Kirk, and Durkee showing off his gun because of course he is. And, then he decides Tracy needs a tattoo while she's sitting at the kitchen table. And it takes him a few times to spell Miranda Raven correctly. Miranda with an E. I don't know. Right. Anyway,
so, it takes a while to spell that name correctly, which is, I would argue, not even spelled correctly in the first place.
Right.
So they spelled it M-E-R.
And he still gets it wrong.
Yes. And his cousin, who's he's tattooing, just to talk about these weird family dynamics, is sitting at the kitchen table in a fucking bra.
Right.
I've never been around my cousin in a bra.
Right.
Like, can you imagine me tattooing Jackie sitting in her bra at my kitchen table?
Look, as long as you spell it right, it's fine. Just spell it right. Okay.
My goodness.
So we've got misspelled tattoos. It takes him a few times. He still manages to mess it up. Honest to God, I've seen prison tattoos that look better. Stay in school, kids. Phonics is important. Also, as somebody who has several tattoos, that actually looks like the worst place to get one. That kitchen. I have had my tattoos in places that are so clean and sterile, you could have had a heart transplant in them and come out just fine. I wouldn't even want to sit down in that kitchen for fear of catching something.
In fairness, however, after he started, one, he wore rubber gloves.
He did.
They probably have been reused thousands of times, but he wore rubber gloves. But after he started, he did call out and ask his mother for some alcohol.
I wasn't quite sure what kind he meant at first.
to drink whilst giving the tattoo, or for sanitization purposes,
right,
or both.
Could be.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just this was not the first time I've seen this movie. The first time I saw the movie, I just kept pausing it and saying, "What the fuck am I watching?" Because it's that unbelievable.
It's that, for real.
All right, so. The next day, Mamie wakes up her granddaughter Cheyenne for a road trip with Subab. Where are they going? Well, they're going to pick up Mamie's daughter Mousie, her real name, Tanya Faye White, from prison. Don't fuck with Mousie. She's been in the joint for 4 years.
I would argue she's not Mousie if she's been in the joint for 4 years.
Also, Cheyenne smokes, and she can't be more than 14 years old. Mousie, upon leaving jail, immediately whips out a photo album and shares with us a picture of her, quote, no good husband, Charles. His on-screen text describes him as a bastard and a cheater, which means we'll probably get to meet him soon enough.
Yeah.
Also, Mamie tells Mousy she'll probably be back in jail in 2 weeks, which is motherly love.
What the hell? Like,
exactly.
That's horrible.
Even Mousy was like, why would you say that to me?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mousy is on the phone trying to track down Charles, the bastard and the cheater, who cheated on her, by the way, with Kirk.
Yes.
Who, when Mousy made parole the first time, told Kirk she had to move out. She cut up all of Mousy's wedding pictures, ruined her clothes. This is the same Kirk, by the way, who stabbed Dennis's ass for cheating on her with her cousin.
Yes, exactly. Like this family, that's what I'm saying. Like, this family not just commits crimes involving the government and other people, they do horrible things to one another, including crimes.
Yes, but they all love each other except for Dennis.
Yeah. Mousy actually had the most feminine voice of all of the white women. And actually she came out of jail, like at prison, like looking pretty good. Like, honestly, like she looked like she came out in a pretty clean state. Let's see how long
that lasts. About 2 days.
That lasts. But she had also the same, not gravelly, but like her voice was actually very similar to
it's headed
Mamie's.
That way.
Yeah.
Actually, all of this whole scene with the photo album, the phone calls, you're going back to jail. This is all taking place in the parking lot of a Bennigan's. I miss Bennigan's.
Me too. I was so excited to see Bennigan's.
Yes,
too. And I was just thinking, where do we even have a Bennigan's open by us?
No, which
They're
is
all
sad
closed, right?
because Bennigan's, when you're hungry for fun.
Oh yeah,
it was a great tagline.
Yeah,
they got to bring them back. Anyway, we are taking a field trip out of West Virginia to meet Pony in Minnesota. Pony's got a job as a painter, I think. Or some kind of like painter, right?
He painter, yeah.
So, and we meet his children. And look, God bless Pony for doing something that doesn't involve scams, prisons, or pills. He is seemingly, at this point, the only normal one in that family. And
100%.
Even his kids are aware that if they stayed in West Virginia, they'd be in trouble or dead, which is such a sad thing for a child to realize. But I'm kind of glad that they do realize that. You know, in a way, it kind of is like, look at the sacrifice your father made to keep everybody safe.
Yep.
And they have a random nephew there. His name is Little Man. I'm guessing not his real name.
I know, but they don't say what the real name is. But like
or who he's connected to.
But they all acknowledge. But Little Man said, "I've been robbed by my own relatives,"
which does not surprise me.
It doesn't. But like, really, like, thank God that Pony got out of there and really like saved his children.
Yeah. One of them is in school to be a nurse.
Wonderful.
His daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back in West Virginia and we meet Brandon. We get his story. Brandon, in case you forgot, and I can see why you would, is Subab's son. So apparently
the sexy one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently, one day he was buying drugs and guns, and Mamie's boyfriend somehow got involved. I'm not 100% sure how. And there was a standoff, and Brandon shot the boyfriend, Billy, I believe his name is, in the chin, neck, shoulder, and eye. He stole Mamie's car, set it on fire, and then had a standoff with the police. By the way, Subab said he's a great kid. What the fuck?
Salt of the earth.
Yes.
Salt of the earth.
Brandon is of the mindset that since his judge likes him and they have a good relationship, he'll probably just be on house arrest or probation.
That's not how this works.
No. Also, friends. We're only 40 minutes into the movie.
40 minutes
into
the movie.
Actually, 36.
Okay, to be
because I had to check.
Yeah, but it is interesting. I don't know the order in which they're showing us all this stuff, but I was struck by the gap of fast forwarding so much to the birth of the baby. So
so that's one thing.
Nothing happen in that time.
So one thing I noticed was this is completely out of context.
I think so.
It's definitely not chronologically shown.
No.
It was obviously chronologically filmed because it takes place over the course of a year and several months. But when they edited it, I don't know if the whites themselves edited it and just decided, let's put this here, let's put this here. But it's constantly bouncing around. So it is one of those movies where you do have to watch it more than once to kind of really understand what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
And you're still left with questions.
Yes. Clever way to get those downloads. Yeah. Johnny Knoxville.
So Jesco, he's dancing for us with a long neck bud in his hand, as you do. And also he's got brain damage from sniffing gas and lighter fluid.
Yes, and you would only know this if you turned on your subtitles, because what Mamie says is completely unintelligible.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to understand it without the subtitles.
There's no way. I dare you to actually find that spot in the movie, play it for someone without subtitles, and ask them to say what she said.
Yeah, and even the attorney makes a joke about it. He says something to the effect of Jesco sniffed so much gasoline in his life that he would be able to tell if it was regular or high test just by the smell.
A veritable connoisseur of petrol.
So Jesco and his brain damage, he's going to get a tattoo. And he decides, as you do, on Elvis and Charles Manson, like a little mural. His justification, Elvis is his good mood, and Manson is his bad mood. Also, now we're in a bar, and Mamie is walking around barefoot. And look, Jesco kind of goes into this like conversation about the tattoos and his moods, and in a way, I actually kind of feel bad for him because they all do, but his issues are massive, but deep down, he just seems like a very, very sad person, which when we get closer to the end of the movie, you can almost understand why.
Yeah.
You know, like when he's giving us that quote family reunion tour at the end, you can kind of understand why this man would be the way he is. You could kind of almost understand why they all the way they are. And I'm not forgiving the behavior at all.
Right. Yes.
Nor am I not going to make fun of it because what the fuck. But yeah, that kind of like hit me. And it took a couple of viewings for me to actually like see it that way.
Yes.
You know, like the first couple times I'm like, who the fuck in their right mind being the words here, gets a tattoo of Charles Manson on their back? And then this last time watching it and listening to what he said, I was like, what a sad man.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back to Birdie Mae. And Birdie Mae is in the hospital. And Mamie is with her. And honestly, this is the softest that we see Mamie in the entire movie. The way she is with her mother in this scene. Birdie Mae has had a stroke, and this hits the family incredibly hard. And there's one scene that really affected me. You know, Birdie Mae's laying in the hospital bed. Her eyes are open, and she seems to be kind of aware of what's going on. She has a feeding tube, though. She's on oxygen. And they focus on her hand, and you see her fingers trembling. And I had a stroke about 8 years ago, and my hand does that. Yeah, I was very young, and it came out of nowhere. My fingers tremble like that. Mm-hmm. And it's seemingly such a small thing, but it's not, because it's something you have absolutely zero control over.
Yeah.
And it's a frightening feeling. Yeah. So watching that scene, I just felt like I could almost imagine the fear that Birdie Mae was feeling, because I know that feeling, you know, something as simple as like your 3 fingers shaking could mean nothing. But when you know it's happening for a serious reason, it's scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, we leave the hospital. We leave one hospital, and we're on our way to another, because it is time for Sue Bob and Kirk to pick up the baby.
Or so we think.
So we think. They park the car, and who comes barreling out of that hospital? Cousin Tracy with an I, and she cannot wait to tell them CPS has a baby, and she must say it like 6 times.
CPS is the baby.
They took a baby. Baby's in Boone County.
Yeah.
Kirk is upset, as one would be, and Sue Bob decides that the only thing that is going to make this situation any better is to make a run for the border and go to Taco Bell.
All right, I give her a little bit of credit for that. I mean,
Taco Bell never hits wrong.
Yeah.
I am always up. If somebody said to me, "You want Taco Bell?" the answer is always going to be yes.
Yeah. I'm honestly thinking of it.
Is it the best Mexican food I've ever had? God, no.
No.
Do I always want to have it? Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like Taco Bell. So, yeah, Taco Bell is Taco Bell. Like, you don't go there because you're in the mood for good Mexican food. You go there because you're in the mood for Taco Bell. Like, yes. I put it in the same camp as Pizza Hut. Okay? Like, sometimes I'm in the mood for Pizza Hut. Like, I'm Italian. Like, it is not great pizza, but it's Pizza Hut. Like, and sometimes it's just, and I never say like, oh, I'm really in the mood for pizza. Where should we go? Oh, I know. Let's go to Pizza Hut. No, I'm in the mood for Pizza Hut. Let's go to Pizza Hut. Yeah.
Yes. I get it. But absolutely.
Yeah. But they went Taco Bell. Respect.
Actually, now I want Taco Bell. That might be a DoorDash tonight.
I have one really close.
There is one really close, but it's Sunday and I'm lazy and I don't leave the house on Sunday. So anyway, they go to Taco Bell and they go through the drive-thru. And while they're waiting, they see Sue Bob's friend Renee eating with her family, and Sue Bob starts yelling through the Taco Bell window that CPS took Kirk's baby. She then orders some fiestas, not on the menu, and some mozzarella cheese sticks, also not on the menu, but then decides on a hard and soft taco. No word on what kind of sauce she requests.
Yeah.
The Taco Bell scene is honestly comedy gold. I can watch it over and over again, and I have.
It is so funny between what she is ordering, calling it fiestas instead of fajitas.
Yeah.
Like, seriously asking, do you have mozzarella cheese sticks? Because, like, of course you'd have that at Taco Bell.
Yes.
And then her screaming at her friend. And I was curious about this because this friend and her family, I mean, just visually, they look like a normal family. Yes. And I'm dying to know how they are friends.
What's the connection there?
How they're friends with one another. But
exactly.
Like, she's screaming she had the baby, and this family's like kind of looking back like, great. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Like, there's no connection with what is actually happening.
They're probably like, please drive on so I could eat my fajita.
Yeah.
Which is on the menu. But anyway, I also love when Sue Bob is waiting for the food. She actually says, "You're going to kill that cow to get the beef or what, buddy?"
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So after gorging on tacos, the white ladies doll themselves up for a night out on the town at Bob and B's bar, which I looked up. It's still there.
Oh,
Sue
nice.
Bob, who, according to the singer in the band on stage, has the prettiest titties he's ever seen. His words, not mine. And Sue Bob dances for the crowd while Mamie and Kirk snort some pills off the tank of a toilet. You heard me correctly. Apparently, Mamie has always carried a pool stick when she was 10 in case her dad got drunk and she had to get into a fight. Why she felt compelled to tell us this, I don't know. But now we know. Mousy and Cheyenne decide not to join the ladies because they're going to go find Charles.
Yes.
On the way, they pick up his nephew. Yeah, cheating bastard. On the way, they pick up his nephew. Mousy yells at Charles's current girlfriend, and they find Charles on the side of the road, shirt open, drinking a beer. And then they're all in the same car with a case of beer. Mousy is in Charles's lap, and honestly, I feel like I am being violated watching this scene. And Charles is informed that Mousy is, quote, getting dick tonight.
Hmm.
Yes. So they revisit their wedding site, which was a supermarket, Walmart type place. Apparently, they were picking up a prescription for Xanax, snorted some, went back inside, bought some flowers in the floral department, and the pharmacist married them.
It's really beautiful.
It really was. And after that stroll down romantic memory lane, we are told via on-screen text that Charles spent the night with Mousy, never went back to his girlfriend, but still occasionally sleeps with her. I just really hope that people are practicing safe sex in Boone County.
Judging by the number of random children that the White family has claimed as their own, I'm going to say no.
Oh, my God. So now it is Coal Miners Day in West Virginia. There's this big festival and a celebration and a service for honoring those who have died doing the job of a coal miner, which by the description we are given by family and locals is an incredibly dangerous job to hold.
Very true.
Yeah. And Mamie sings the worst version of Coal Miner's Daughter that I've ever heard, and that includes my own version of Coal Miner's Daughter.
I really hope that Loretta Lynn never saw that.
Yeah. That could have been the reason. She might have, and that could have been the reason she's not with us any longer.
It was horrible.
It was awful. It was absolutely awful. But I'll give it to Mamie. She is putting everything into that performance.
Yeah.
She is like ready to audition for American Idol with that thing.
Let's face it, though, going back to the birthday party, she couldn't even sing happy birthday correctly.
This is true. This is true. So singing, not a White family talent. Dancing, yes. Singing, no.
Yeah.
Kirk and her mother arrive at the courthouse to see about the baby. And the court will not allow them to take custody. And Kirk has to get herself clean. So it's off to rehab for her. And here's where I give Kirk credit.
Yep.
She immediately gets on the phone and starts calling around, and she finds a place to go. And I feel like I've seen the green sweatpants that Kirk is wearing in this scene 1,000 times. But again, I'm not one to judge because I do the same thing, but I'm also not on film. Bo lets us know that because Kirk is going into rehab, we can expect a bender for the night.
Yeah, which is completely normal and actually very often encouraged, just like do your final
Get your yayas
thing,
out while you can.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it on Intervention. They have like that one last, drink or snort or injection or whatever it takes to get them on that plane.
Exactly.
So Kirk's big going out night. Mousy, Sue Bob, and Kirk head out for the night. There is a bottle of Crown Royale that Mousy has everybody sign as a memory of that evening. There's lots of smoking, bowling, boobs flashing, a fuck you, Dennis, Kirk peeing, and I gotta wonder, who is the poor son of a bitch that has to drive this family around all the time?
Yeah, this was basically like an Appalachia version of a Girls Gone Wild video.
It
was essentially what this was.
Yeah.
And this was also pre-Uber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if any of them use Uber. I cannot imagine they have high ratings. Like
0 stars, do not recommend.
I was gonna they must have a hard time finding the drivers willing to actually pick them up because they're like, oh shit, this person,
not them again.
Kirk White, 1.5 stars.
They're gonna leave stains on my back seat.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So the next morning, after their big la-ti-da, they are all hurting. They are sitting in that car looking like death on a stick. And they all load in the car to drive Kirk to rehab. Tyler's with them, shouting about what a gem Dennis is, while Kirk tries to explain to her son what exactly is happening. And it's sad. She's trying to explain where she's going, why she's going, and he's a child. And the thing is, that makes it even sadder is that he probably does understand. as a child exactly what is going on. But they stop a few times along the way. First, they pick up one of Kirk's old boyfriends, who is also named Charlie, not to be confused with the Charlie she had an affair with, who was married to Mousy while Mousy was in jail. And then Sue Bob lets us know that Charlie is family. Also, they pick up Steve, Kirk's ex-husband, who's also going with them, also family. I think Steven is Tyler's dad, but I don't know anymore. But we get Kirk to rehab. She says goodbye to Tyler. She's crying as she walks in.
Yeah, and I found the whole drive was actually so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation between Tyler and Kirk, and for all of our messing around, it is very, very sad. And I do have a soft spot for Kirk.
Yeah.
Like when she's in the hospital talking about the life that she wants for little Monica. When she's talking with Tyler, like I do see some there. Foundationally, I do feel like there are some good maternal instincts, and I do feel like she really wants to be a good mother deep down.
I think, and I know this sounds odd, but I think there is tremendous love in that family. Not just
Yes.
Kirk and her children, but the entire family. I think there is tremendous love and what's the word I'm looking for? I think they're all incredibly devoted to each other. And yeah, it might come out in strange ways, like banging your cousin's husband or what have you. But I think at the end of the day, they will lay down for each other,
Yep.
And I think in a way, like that's almost admirable, the way they love each other. So speaking of motherly love, Sue Bob goes to court for Brandon's sentencing. And it's not good. He gets 50 years. 50 years. And she is visibly upset and says that when he gets out, he'll be 47 years old. Like when he's eligible for parole, he'll be 47 and she'll probably be dead by that point. And Jesco even makes a comment that he would get less time if he had actually killed Billy.
Yeah. That whole thing was really, really sad. And like Brandon unfortunately had it in his mind that the judge liked him and that he was going to get out with some sort of just probation or some sort of like maybe pretrial intervention type thing, which clearly didn't happen. I mean, they threw the book at him.
Exactly. So Hank is back, Hank the Third, and he's singing. But it's not his normal fun music. It's kind of like the filmmaker's way of letting us know that Birdie Mae has died. And her family is actually digging her grave. Like you see Durkee down in there digging out the gravesite. We see scenes of Jesco and Mamie and the family at her funeral. And her gravestone reads, "In loving memory of the Miracle Woman." And I looked it up, actually. There's a website called findagrave.com. She outlived not only her husband, but 7 of her own children. At the time of her death, she had 9 living children, 34 grandchildren, and 48 great-grandchildren. So, I know they said there were 13 kids.
Yeah.
So I'm not a math person, but I know 9 and 7 do not equal 13. So I'm wondering if there were,
it could have been
stillbirths or adopted children. They're counting. Yeah.
They were counting like the
naked man,
the gentleman that Mamie pantsed. Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, Jesco takes us on a tour of what he calls his family cemetery. and points out the graves of his family members. His father, his two brothers, two of his sisters, both of whom were pregnant when they died, both of whom died young. One was murdered by her ex. One was in a car accident. I mean, it's just, this is what I meant earlier when I said I can understand why he's a sad man. Like,
Yes.
all his family members are dying these horribly violent deaths. Like, they're not dying because, they were old. They're not dying because they, got cancer,
Yeah.
or they're dying because of the life choices.
I do think that the tragic death of D. Ray was a seminal moment in the family.
Yes.
Decisions were made. I think my guess, honestly, I think Birdie may seem like a very sweet woman. I think she probably overextended herself. I don't know if maybe of the two, maybe he was a little bit more of the disciplinarian, the one that kind of held everyone together. And I think that unfortunately, choices were made. Bad things happened, and then as more bad things happened, people also started coping via substances, and it was just kind of this just spiral at that point.
Well, one of the talking heads, one of the Greek chorus, actually did comment on the fact that when D. Ray died, Birdie Mae just couldn't control the kids.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Because she was so busy controlling everybody else's kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so that scene was kind of hard to watch. And then we see Kirk. And Kirk is getting out of rehab after 3 months, and she looks good.
Yeah, she does.
She looks healthy, and she is so proud, and she's showing off her sobriety coins, and she's on her way to get Tyler, and they're going to go into like a mother-child sober living situation, which is great for the two of them because it's going to, give them their time together, but it's also going to get them out of their situation because, as we know from like intervention, you can't go back home again after.
Yeah.
Like, you have to basically start over.
Yes.
Tyler is convinced that Kirk is going to leave him again, and she apologizes and he forgives her. And for the first time, she just seems genuinely happy with her life. And the on-screen text lets us know that she can visit with her daughter on the weekends. And we are just about at the end, so why not end it on a high note with a party? Literally a high note. The family is all together at the park for a barbecue. Someone is working the grill with a plastic fork. Explain that one to me. Mamie lets everyone tells us that everyone dies. Everyone's going to be judged and go to heaven or hell. And she says she's probably going to burn in hell like the rest of her family. And when asked by the film crew what she wants people to do at her funeral, she says, and I quote, "Party their balls off, fucking rock and roll, baby," as she sits there smoking a joint. She says that you're born with nothing and she's going to die with nothing, but at least the world is going to know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
And that's all from the Whites.
Truer words. I listen, I admire actually the idea of I don't admire living your life in a way assuming that you're going to go to hell, and so like who cares, right? But that being said, I do admire the thought of people kind of fucking rock and roll at your funeral if that's what you want.
So I kind of love that because that's what I did for my husband in his way. When Sean died, I did not want a traditional funeral for him because I knew he would not want one. So instead, we did have like a visitation, but I asked people to please come dressed in their most comfortable clothes or their favorite concert t-shirt. I even said, if you want to wear your bathrobe, that's fine too, because he loved wearing that. I made a playlist of all his favorite music, and the funeral director told me it was the first time we ever heard Pantera played in the funeral home. And for him, it was like the perfect goodbye for, like it's exactly what I think he would have wanted.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I wore exactly. I honestly can't remember, but I do believe I honored that request. And because I remember my wife saying like, "Where are you going?" Like, I thought you were going to the wake.
Yeah.
And because she wasn't able to make it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am. This is Kristin. This is what Sean would have wanted."
Yeah. One of my coworkers showed up in a red Adidas tracksuit.
Yeah.
With the white stripes, and she's like, I almost wore my bathrobe, because I used to joke with her that he used to walk the dog in his bathrobe all around the neighborhood, and she's like, I do it too. Yeah. And she's like, I almost wore my bathrobe for your husband today. I'm like, he would have fucking loved it.
I honestly, what I want is and I've said this for a while, like, I actually want to be roasted at my funeral, like not cremated, but like roasted. Like, I want there to be a roast. Yeah, I want there to be a roast.
Tom,
like,
Kevin, I think that would get on it.
I think that would be so cool, actually. Just people get up there like and just roast me. Like, I just think people would enjoy it, and I just think that's like, I don't know. Like, I have a very self-deprecating sense of humor.
I think traditional funerals are definitely changing with the generations.
Yeah,
you know, like. Like you have like the repast and everything like that. Mm-hmm. For Sean, we went to Rutt's Hut.
Yeah.
Because that's what he loved.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
And I wanted to do stuff that was for him, not for me, you know?
Yeah.
But so that was our time with the Whites. And if you're wondering, I do have some updates.
Okay. I had a hard time doing, and I just, full transparency, I sort of like ran out of time, but I'm dying to know more about like, where are they now?
So Jesco, the dance, I am reading this word for word right off of my search. Okay. Jesco, the dancing outlaw, is currently living in 5 Points, Tennessee with his wife, Alita.
Okay. So
he remains active in the, I hope she makes the eggs right. Remains active in the folk dance community and recently issued a public statement via his fan club regarding family disputes. Mamie is now the family matriarch. She still lives in Boone County. She continues to perform at local events. I don't know if she's being asked to or if she just chooses to, and maintains an active social media presence where she sells family merchandise. P.S. I follow her on Facebook. Subab, the youngest baby girl and the sexiest,
thousands of people tell her,
was arrested in August in Mingo County on charges of drug conspiracy and possession with intent to deliver. These followed earlier charges that year for burglary and animal cruelty in which she killed a cat. Pony, living in Minnesota, works as a house painter. Brandon. After serving time for the attempted murder of Billy, Brandon was released in 2021 and is currently living in Ohio. Apparently, he too hauled hiney.
Mm-hmm.
Durkee, a.k.a. Derek, a.k.a. Dirty White Boy.
Yes.
As of late 2024, Derek was in police custody following an arrest for strangulation and kidnapping. Kirk continues to live in West Virginia. Eventually, she relinquished her parental rights for her daughter, Monica. Cheyenne, the younger member of the family, currently works for the Appalachian Botanical Company in West Virginia, where she assists with lavender farming.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Like that, we have someone doing a job aside from Pony.
Yes. Tyler, I do follow him on social media, and according to one of his mother's posts, is also in jail.
Oh, God.
And you can also follow Subab's daughter, Ashley, on Instagram, and she seems to have it together.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and she's actually a very attractive young girl, like young lady, you know? I haven't heard her speak, though.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the Whites. And I am more than happy to leave West Virginia. I don't care how many fucking Waffle Houses they have. I need to haul hiney and get the fuck out of West Virginia at this point.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I feel bad too because, for anyone listening from West Virginia, like, you know,
it's actually a lovely place. Like some of the scenery that we were treated to throughout this movie was breathtaking.
Yeah. And it was honestly beautiful because our trip that we recently went to North Carolina, we drove briefly through West Virginia, and very, very green, very scenic.
Yes.
And like, we know full well that the whites are not an accurate representation of West Virginia, you know, just like the Jersey Shore folks are not an accurate representation of New Jersey.
And I can actually see how the residents of West Virginia would look at them like that, just as we look at, you know, the housewives or such and such, as like, but that's not who we all are. No, you know?
Exactly.
So I completely get that.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I hope that anyone who has seen the documentary enjoyed the recap, living it, and maybe kind of calling audibles on things that you were thinking.
Yes.
And you know, hopefully, if you didn't watch it, even if you don't plan on watching it, hopefully we gave you a good idea of what this is all about. And maybe we'll give Johnny Knoxville a few more downloads because maybe it'll entice you to watch it. It really is worth a watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's an hour and a half of your time that's really not wasted. You definitely you're going to be entertained.
Yes, you will.
But so that was our very first bonus episode for the Patreon.
Yes.
Which will be in our regular feed until the Patreon gets set up. But big news, because we are actually starting to release our episodes, like, for real now. Like, we're not just recording them. They're actually going to be out there. We have an Instagram page, so follow us there. And this is getting so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very exciting. Very exciting. All right. So that's it for our bonus episode.
Yep.
So,
we hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time.
We'll be back with more.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.